Nigerians, we are green and white, and we love our country, and we like to be passionate about people and how they fed. So some of my friends will even ask after your chickens and your goats and your cows, and others will say, how are my children? Let me crack a little joke. There was a chief executive officer whose driver will always say, good morning, sir. How is the family? How are my children? He will answer, we are all fine. Now one day, he got angry and said, why is this driver always asking after his children in my house? So he said, okay, now you get into this car. And the man they drove to his house. He brought out all his children and said, please now identify which of these ones are your own. Nobody is laughing. You don't understand the joke. Thank you very much. Aha, I like to hear that. Which of these children is your own in my house? Oh, it's not a laughing matter. Thank you. The president of NIPR, the governing council of NIPR, our distinguished council members, fellows of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, distinguished chairmen of chapters, distinguished fellows, great citizens and senior citizens of Nigeria from all walks of life, time will fail me to recognize you individually. The core members here, members of the diplomatic corps, are people that are special in all rights, those that are living with different forms of disabilities, distinguished members of the press, my domain, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My task is simple. Do I have the slides? We cannot project. We're not able to project. Technical team, okay. Thank you. It's on. My task is simple this morning. It is to capture what we did yesterday. The rapporteuring team was busy the whole day and the whole night to be able to bring to you highlights of what we did yesterday. As a matter of preamble, I'd just like to state that the 2022 NIPR Citizens Summit for National Integration, Peace and Security, the first of its kind, ladies and gentlemen, was born out of the need to bridge the widening gap in communication and trust deficit in Nigeria. Breakdown of communication, which led to trust deficit. I no longer trust you, no longer trust me. As the NIPR president, Madam Muktar Zubairu Sirajo captured vividly yesterday, the effort is part of NIPR's mandate of relationship building and relationship mending. And ladies and gentlemen, you know that is what NIPR stands for. Reputation building, relationship mending, crisis management. Therefore, the summit is a product of in-depth research conducted by the Institute to identify these widening gaps and profile solutions that will bring stakeholders, all stakeholders, everyone, into common understanding that will lead to positive outcomes and positive actions. We hope, ladies and gentlemen, that at the end of this summit and at the end of the report writing and the charter, there will be an implementable document that is being generated by the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations for Nigeria, not for 1 year or two, but for 10 years in the first instance. Can we give an IPR a round of applause for that? Okay. This, ladies and gentlemen, was the focus of all the activities of day one. You agree with me, from the MC to the addresses we got, from thematic address to keynote addresses, to the summit zonal reports and goodwill messages, performances, and syndicate groups. This was the focus. So let's go on to the highlights quickly.
number one, all the actors in the summit agree that it was timely, and that is the summit was timely and is capable of providing the needed solutions to the Nigerian crisis. It's not one crisis. We have multiplicity of crises. They also agreed that the present
challenges are not insurmountable, so that we do not lament and see people who are hopeless. The challenges are there, they are daunting, but they are not insurmountable. The common thread in the discussion of day one also centered on the identification of two twin evils, which are fake news and misinformation. And these two twin evils have produced mutual distrust, a monster it is, among the citizenry, and of course, leading to communication apathy. Again, the president of the NIPR, in his welcome address, stated that we miss the old Nigeria. The old Nigeria where Nigerians are Nigerians, in which people lived anywhere and intermarried. A Nigeria where people felt comfortable anywhere they reside, without ethnic, religious, and social considerations, which is entrenched in the old anthem. Some of us who are products of the 60s and the 70s, we know that there's a line, a clause in the old national anthem which says, though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Even those who missed that one know that in the new national anthem, there is also a line, one nation bound in freedom, peace, and unity. The NIPR president further said that the expected outcome of this summit is to create a roadmap towards rebuilding trust for a new Nigeria. Therefore, we are not here to just talk or jojo. We are here to jojo, committed to writing, committed to a document, an implementable document. In the words of the chairman of the occasion, Mommy Dr. Mrs. Dere Awoshika MFI, the summit is a very good avenue for opening up dialogues, in which a dialogue which will be used as a tool for bringing Nigeria to her feet again. And she says, dialogue is the way to fix our nation and bring it back to its feet. She further said that the glue that binds people together is national integration, especially because the boundaries were designed by other people, the colonial masters, making us a fix of multiplicity of beautiful cultures in Nigeria. There's beauty in the diversity we have. She gave us example where she travels to somewhere and some words in the tribes of those people were the same way they were sounded in her own language, and they meant the same thing. For instance, if I say Agba, as an Igala person, that means thank you. The same Agba is how the Egons in Nasarawa will say it. And I know several other people, there are several things like that that are in common and also mean the same thing. She said that the lack of communication and trust deficit are two sides of the same coin, which is the root of the anarchy that is pervading Nigeria. She further quoted Edward Oloreke's research, in which a question was asked, which was, to which extent would you trust the government? And the result was, 5 out of 10 said they will trust the local government. Another 5 out of 10 said they will trust only 50% to the state, and another group said they will entrust another 50% to federal government. So there is a gap of 50% of distrust that is pervading among people. Now, if you are a citizen who cannot trust your government, is there any other way to say there is problem? At this point, I'd like to pause and welcome the president of NIPR, you've been here. I'd like us to formally welcome the president of NIPR, Malam Mukhtar Sirajo, FNIPR. Welcome, sir. Okay, let's look at the significance and scope of this study. It was said to us by Malam Mohammed Musa Bello, who is the Honorable Minister of the FCT and our chief host. He said, there's no running away from the fact that Nigeria is faced with daunting challenges. And these challenges are threatening the fabric of our existence. But he said, like every other one, that these challenges, though daunting, are not insurmountable. Then we took an address from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari's GCFR, who was ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, our own fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. In the process of declaring the occasion open, he noted that the summit could not have come at a better time than now, when there is the crisis of security, which is fueled by the twin evil we identified earlier, that is fake news and misinformation. He further said it is commendable that several media outfits have instituted fact-finding desks to ascertain the genuineness of news stories in order to combat the menace of fake news. It is commendable that there is fact-finding desks now available in several media houses, and we should do more. The time has passed when media will just take anything, even take things from social media and take. No, there should be a way of cross-checking information so that you don't become an advocate of fake news or misinformation. Additionally, the President said that government has renewed her resolve to crush banditry and terrorism from Nigeria. And he told us that the resolve is yielding results. He commended the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations for organizing this summit and hope that the outcome of this will be widely circulated. We took a thematic address by our erudite scholar, Professor Anya O. Anya, NNOM, which was on Reopen Conversation, Rebuild Trust. That thematic address set the pace for all other discussions that we had. He said he was going to do the address on a particular focus, which is rebuilding trust through creative leadership. That is, you cannot rebuild trust when you're not creative as a leader. If the old system is not working, as a leader, you should be able to look into the system and take creative ways into winning your audiences or those you're leading. Otherwise, what kind of leadership would there be without the followership? He highlighted cross-cultural conflict and breakdown of relationships among citizens and regions as some of the issues affecting the growth and pace of Nigeria. He identified some problems which include poor management of multi-religious, multi-ethnic, and multicultural conglomeration of nationalities. Can I explain? We are a rich country of several tongues and tribes, 774. The ability to galvanize this into a resource rather than a disharmony is what he is propagating. And that way it means, if I, as an Igala woman, goes to Zamfara, I should not be seen as a stranger. I should be seen as an indigent or a citizen. Nigerian citizenship overtakes all other considerations of ethnic divides. He recommended, among others, that there is a need to create opportunities for interaction between groups with the focus of creating a different future. I just explained. Let me get to the next slide. The former Minister of Agriculture and an elder statesman, Chief Aldo Ogbe OFR, in his own keynote address titled Nigeria, Where Did We Miss It? The Need to Rethink and Return, traced the origin of the Nigerian issues to the spate of coup d'etat which began in 1966. He gave us, the background as to how one coup happened, and 3 months after another, and like that. So, that was the beginning of the Nigerian issues. Okay. He gave examples, that is Chief Aldo Ogbe, gave us examples of Pakistan and India. He said in India, there is stability, achievement of stability, just because there has never been coup d'etat in that country from inception till date. Therefore, political leadership is tantamount to engendering peace and unity in any country. He recommended, among others, that unless the local government begins to function well, then the youth will continue to migrate to the cities and the forests. And when the youth leave local government and migrate to cities and forests, what it means that in another 5 years, if care is not taken, if nothing is done about this, it will be impossible for anyone in the cities to move around or sleep in peace at night. And that will be the beginning of real anarchy. He further recommended that our political parties should begin to hold gatherings and conferences where they could make elected leaders account for their stewardship. A situation where people come to power and nobody checks them, nobody knows what they do, nobody cares how they run, should be a thing of the past. We also had another keynote address, which was addressed by Barrister Mrs. Adekweju Jayoba. I'm sorry if I didn't get that name right. Who is the founder of Brown Bottom Foundation, Lagos. In her presentation titled Path to Reinventing Our Nationhood, Framework, Concepts, Solutions, and Actions, she said there is a lopsidedness in opportunities across the geopolitical zones in Nigeria. She gave examples of how that has been. She also said it looks as if an entire generation has been skipped. Whatever happened, you find a total disconnect before the people that the young people will call old people. There's a name they usually will call it oldies. And they, like a generational skip. And of course, this is also attributable to poor implementation of the rule of law. I'm told to wrap up, I don't know. Okay, so I'll just wrap up. She recommended that government has to play a national role, but the role is not left to government alone, even citizens. We all are stakeholders. Then we had another keynote address, which came from Reverend Ladi Thompson, and that also emphasized that we have to have, he said, global policies treat Africans as people with lesser minds. Even in reportage of news, you'll find that the media, the foreign media seem to think that they know better, and it's not true. Even from the beginning of the putting together of the nation, it looked like they did not expect Nigeria to be able to escape the quagmire or be able to come out of the shackles. Keynote addresses upon keynote addresses And then it rolled up to goodwill messages that came from different people from different walks of life. We had members of Senate, we had members from House of Assembly, we had the military, we had civil organizations, we had women's societies, we had persons with disability, we had Middlebelt Forum, we had everyone from everywhere. Then, of course, there was formal presentation of zonal reports by coordinators and zonal dialogues from the 6 geopolitical zones as well as the diaspora zone. The summit also had several activities, performances that also said addressed the theme. Syndicate sessions were 1 to 7. And I would like to say that because I'm told to wrap up, what we had in the syndicate session said, if at the end of this summit, all we did and said was to talk and go, then it will go the same way as it was before. If at the end of this summit, we can now get out of here and say, this is my Nigeria. Nigerians are green and white. And there is no stranger anywhere in Nigeria. Then we have achieved it. And then if at the end of this summit, we could have a working paper that will be adopted by all the stakeholders that came here and those that are waiting outside, as well as those in the diaspora, then we have an implementable document that is being spearheaded by history and posterity from NIPR. Then the Institute has succeeded. Ladies and gentlemen, that was what happened yesterday. A good Nigeria, a new Nigeria is achievable, and it begins from you. Thank you very much.
Please put your hands together for Dr. Comfort. Jam your hands together for her. Thank you very much, ma'am. Dr. Mrs. Comfort Ukwela, FNIPR. Thank you very much. And indeed, without further ado, we'd like to go straight into Day 2 syndicate sessions. We have 7 syndicate sessions today. And to my right, my immediate right, is the booth for Syndicate 8. At that side, we have Syndicate 9, and we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I shall quickly read the titles of the syndicate, so you can choose the one you would like to attend. Syndicate 8. We shall be discussing developing and deploying a new communication culture and trust for Nigeria. The framework, content, strategy, and actions. Syndicate 9. We shall be discussing identification, reorientation, and promotion of core national values, new strategies, operational framework, and actions. In Syndicate 10, we shall be discussing leveraging traditional structures and institutions for community peace and sustainable security for national integration. Syndicate 11, we shall be discussing sustainable mechanisms for effective national integration, frameworks, strategies, and programs. In Syndicate 12, we shall be discussing rethinking security in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, fresh approaches, new strategies, and dynamic engagements. In Syndicate 13, we shall be discussing restructure Nigeria. What, why, when, and how. And the last syndicate group, we shall be discussing reworking the Nigerian economy towards growth and productivity, solutions, direction, and strategies. Please, our distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please kindly rise now and go to the various syndicate groups, and they are all well labeled. So on this floor, we have Syndicate 8 to my immediate right, Syndicate 9 over there, and Syndicate 10. Then the remaining 4, you will need to please go straight out to the forward. You will see the stairs, take it upstairs, and you will choose the syndicate group you would love to participate actively in. We have amazing speakers that will be talking on the various topics, but I would like to quickly tell you the topics of each syndicate group. Syndicate 8 will be discussing developing and deploying a new communication structure and trust for Nigeria, the framework, content, strategy, and actions. In Syndicate 9, which is there, we'll be discussing identification, reorientation, and promotion of core national values, new strategies, operational framework, and actions. And Syndicate 10, which is at that side, will be discussing leveraging traditional structures and institutions for community peace and sustainable security for national integration. Please, lead speakers and moderators and rapporteurs, kindly quickly go to your syndicate groups. Syndicate coordinators, moderators, please kindly quickly be there before your members come in. Can we quickly move to our various syndicate groups? Then upstairs, to get to the location upstairs, kindly go straight to the room over there. You see the stairs on your left, just go upstairs. We have ushers who will be directing you over there. Syndicate 11 is upstairs. Syndicate 12 is also upstairs. 13 and 14 are upstairs. Kindly go, we have ushers right now who are actually to direct you. Ushers, please kindly go upstairs. Ushers, go to each of the syndicate groups and ensure coordination of members. Syndicate 11 is sustainable mechanism for effective national integration, frameworks, strategies, and programs. Syndicate 12, rethinking security in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, fresh approaches, new strategies, and dynamic engagements. And Syndicate 13 again, restructure Nigeria, the what, why, when, and how. And the final of the last syndicate for today's second day and final day of the summit is rocking the Nigerian economy towards growth and productivity, solutions, direction, and strategy. We have 2 hours for this. We'll all be going simultaneously, so kindly, speakers, first speakers, kindly start immediately. Rapporteurs, please go straight to your various syndicates and let's have very full celebration. Thank you very much.
Rebuilding a new Nigeria, the NIP
speakers, they have prepared their presentation. I think it is not fair for them to be in the hall and there will be nobody. Please, I beg of you, please choose one of the syndicates and move it now. We are actually not supposed to be in place.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Can we be seated? Indeed, the reason why we're gathered here is to build a nation where peace and justice reign. My name is Cecile Egbele, and I'm welcoming you to the closing ceremony of Citizens Summit for National Integration, Peace and Security. And of course, I'm here with Moji Makonjola.
Thank you very, very much. This is intergenerational thing that we're doing. I like to have you by my side all the time. What a day, what a time to be amidst all of you under one canopy of making Nigeria the Nigeria that I knew, the Nigeria that we want to rebirth, the Nigeria that will be. I have a little quote here before we continue. I said, Nigeria, we held thee. How many of you remember used to be our national anthem? We changed our anthem. We changed currencies, changed regional structure to state structure, changed government from colonial to democratic, military dictatorship, then again democracy. In all of these changes, we still never got it right. For the largest black nation on the planet, Africa's true potential giant. Where then is that energy, dynamism, wealth, intellectual, academic process, fun, peace, progress, positive outlook, and our hope for a better Nigeria? Many, I know all of us here still believe in Nigeria. This group is one of such, the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Thank you for waking us up to what we are as a people should be doing. Thank you, NIPR. This is the foundation that we need for the rebirth. And so today, on behalf of all of us, as we end what started last year, November, we are just beginning actually, building the blocks and putting it together, ensuring that the Nigeria of our dreams emerge in our time. That's my prayer, and I know that's the prayer of all of us today. So if you believe in this prayer, if you believe that truly we can get back the golden days of Nigeria, not Nigerians in diaspora doing wonders and can't bring it home to do it, let's put our hands together for ourselves. Thank you so very much. It's an exciting moment for me as a Nigerian, and I know that together we'll be able to get it right. We are not going today, it's special. It's the last day concerning the formal discussion, as Cecil said, but we're going forward because after this, there are several steps that we need to still forge ahead with. And I know that the hall full of here, Nigeria is present here, together we'll be able to rebuild and the conversation will continue. However, at this closing ceremony of Citizens Summit for National Integration, Peace and Security, I'd like to let us know that we are live on Nigerian Television Authority, the largest television network in Africa. And we want to thank the NTA for giving this to us because it is indeed a participation of everyone here present today. To start us off, I know that the chairperson is here, she's been here since yesterday, and that's saying power to the Nigerian women. When we integrate us 50-50, I hope by 2023 we'll be able to get there. So just give all the women in the hall a loud round of applause on behalf of our chairperson. So to welcome us this morning, I'd like to invite the Vice President, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, ACG Adewale Adeniyi. Please welcome her warmly.
Thank you very much. It is by design that today we also have two women across two generations doing very wonderfully well in their chosen profession. The daughter and the granddaughter. Please a round of applause for Cecile and Auntie Moji. The chairman of the summit, our indefatigable Mama,
Awoshika, President and Chairman, Council of the Governing Council of NIPR, Mukhtar Siraju, our Vice President that has just spoken to us, ACG Adeniyi, members of the Governing Council, President APRA Yomi Badijo Busoya, Fellows of the Institute, Chiefs and Heads of Parastatals here present, Directors Generals, Permanent Secretaries, members, the NUJ President here present, very distinguished members of the Nigerian media, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. When I met this woman about 2.5 decades or 3 decades back, oh my God, that's how far I've been going with her. She came across as one who would fit in any camp. Together, we saw the real Nigerians. Together, we crisscrossed every nook and cranny here. We rode not just on camels, we tried. We had meetings under floodlights, headlights. We went in the kennel, we trekked, we did everything because we had one thing in mind. We wanted to bring the Nigerian children up in such a way that when they need to serve, they will serve optimally without having recourse to illnesses, particularly polio. We cannot speak of polio eradication in Nigeria without Dere Awoshika. We saw it all. We saw it, we went where devils who dare not go. We wore our hijab proudly. We ate our tuwo, our pounded yam, even the bangasu together, because that is the Nigerian woman. And so when she was made chairperson of this summit, I said, rightly so. Today I celebrate you in a very special way. I celebrate the womanhood in you. I most especially celebrate the Nigerian in you. And I think that this is the turnaround we're asking for, where will you integrate, and it didn't matter what your color is or what your religion is. And therefore, on behalf of all of us, welcome you to the podium again, Dr. Mrs. Dere Awoshika, Chairperson, Access Bank, MFR, FPSN, NNI, for this true sister.
Great memories. Thank you very much. It's the President of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Pardon my voice. I'm doing my best. All the distinguished elders in this great audience, all our distinguished personalities amongst the youths, because they are distinguished to be here. All the great women have come together. We really need to thank God for NIPR. Because God birthed something in them, they brought it out, they captured it right, they put the diagram very clearly, that they have a big heart, that they have listening ears, and that they are ready to run with their legs. Mr. President, please, I salute you. What a great work. I didn't imagine how this would be, but coming from yesterday, hearing everyone in and out of the audience, it's been a good time for us, not just to talk, as it were, in Nigeria, but to think and to ask questions, to receive answers, to be willing to come together, because there was nowhere to go. There was a diagram yesterday, I think it was by one Dr. Kumalafe, if I'm right, of Nigerians in the 6 geopolitical zones, facing different areas. At the end of the day, we have no choice than to face one another. A point of unity. And that's why the FCT minister said there's no other way. That's why Abuja was created. They thought Abuja was not created by British. It was created by Nigeria, who believes in the need for us to have unity. And today in this unity city, the city of Abuja, belonging to all and for all, we have been discussing. And I just want to admonish Mr. President kindly, please let's run with this. Everyone that I came across and listened to, directly or indirectly, wants a united Nigeria. We've come to realize from all the talk yesterday, which of course Moji and I realized while we went round proudly through the nation. We are proud to go through 662 local governments and across more than 8,000 political wards in the country. Nigeria is a beautiful place, a lovely place, good people, great nation, and there was nowhere we were rejected. We conformed when we need to conform. I'm a Christian. She told you I wore the hijab, yes, because my mission was more importantly, very good to God. And if that is the case, I'll do what it is to get my mission across, to save the children. It's your turn to do something. It's your turn to say something. It's your turn to be responsible to a nation that you call your own. We must be responsible citizens. Our responsibility goes beyond ourselves. Your private affair is private. Nigeria is a public affair. That's only. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's the chairman of this occasion, Mrs. Awoshika, for that very beautiful remark. All right, and very quickly, the chairman of PANDEF was meant to have been here yesterday, but he had some very important assignments he needed to attend to. But he has decided and cleared the schedule to be with us today. For his remark and goodwill message, I would like to call on the national chairman of the PAN Nigeria Delta Forum, PANDEF. I'm talking about Senator Emmanuel Esen-Ebok, to please come on the podium and give us a goodwill message. I will permit those giving goodwill messages to please skip all protocols so we can take 2 minutes each for your remark.
Thank you. The chairman of this occasion, the national president, the chairman, once whether a lady, a man, also chair, you are a chairman, chairperson. All other protocols duly and most respectfully observed. I want to correct my name so that tomorrow, when an appointment is to be given, nobody goes to take my own. My name is Senator Emmanuel Ebok Esen. Emmanuel Ebok Esen. Because I've seen Supreme Court disqualifying people from holding positions because of mix-up in names. I want to first and foremost thank God for NIPR, for the great work that you have been doing in this country. I congratulate all of you, starting from the president, members of his national executive, and the states, for this great work you are doing for this nation. Yesterday, I sent our legal advisor in Pan Niger Delta Forum, a distinguished legal luminary, Mrs. Nella Ewa, to represent PANDEF, because we had a Southern and Middle Belt Forum meeting in Lagos. But I had to come straight from the airport for this event because I consider it very important. Most especially the theme of this conference, which touches on national integration, peace, and security of this country. We do not have any other country than this country. And it is our responsibility jointly to ensure that there is peace, there is security and stability and integration in this country. Yesterday I was just telling someone, when I saw the number of people in Lagos, I said, if there is any crisis and people have to run away from this country, other African countries and even the world cannot accommodate us. So we need absolute peace in this country. And it's a workshop like this that will give a roadmap for this peace and security. So PANDEF stands with you on this mission, and whatever that is possible that we will do to ensure this national integration, peace and security will do. I want to congratulate you once again and wish you well, and assure you that we will partner together to ensure a better Nigeria. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much, Senator Emmanuel Ebokesing of PANDEF, National Chairman of PANDEF. Indeed, he spoke the truth to our faces. We are all partners in peace and security. And of course, the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations has partners from all across. We are all partners, guests here present, in issues of national security and peace. So talking about partners, I would like to call on one of the partners of the NIPR. I'm talking about the Nigerian Union of Journalists, led by the chairman, Chris Isiwizo. Chris Isiwizo, please take on the microphone for your goodwill message, very briefly. A round of applause.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, indeed I am pleased to be part of this summit, Citizen Summit for National Integration, Peace and Security. I want to applaud the leadership of NIPR for deeming it necessary to gather Nigerians from all the nooks and crannies of Nigeria to come together and open, or rather reopen, conversation. Looking at the situation in our country, it has become quite important for us to come and discuss on how we can address the myriad of problems staring all of us in the face at this critical point in time. And that's why this summit has become quite interesting. When I took time to go through the syndicates and look at the faces of people there, I saw a people that are desirous of having their country back. Indeed, Mr. President of NIPR, you've given birth to a people desirous of building a new Nigeria. For us in the Nigeria Union of Journalists, I want to assure you of our undying readiness to partner with you, to work with you, to ensure that this conversation that has started yesterday and of course today will not end here. We'll go with it, we'll fly with it, and by the time, God willing, we get to 2023, we'll also succeed together in giving birth to a leadership that will understand that the yearnings and aspirations of the people must remain uppermost in their minds. I believe that will be the only way that we are going to start the process of rebuilding trust in our country, trust in our leadership, trust in our people. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Indeed, uppermost in our minds should be rebuilding our country on the basis of trust. Still talking partners in development, partners in progress, partners in building peace and security. I would like to call on the Director General, National Orientation Agency, for his goodwill message, talking about Dr. Garba Abari. Please give a round of applause.
Garba Abari and the National Orientation Agency have been part and parcel of this conference, the planning, the process of organization. I am a resource person. I was part of the panel that just ended this session. So both the NOA as an institution and the leadership, Pastor Time and Garba Abari, are all part and parcel of this great event. To this extent, therefore, we do not have to say we associate with it because we are part and parcel of it all. The other thing I would say at this point is to say thank you very much, everybody, for believing in IPR and of course in building, in believing in all of us that have a sense of what Nigeria that we all wish to see is now being crafted days forward. Thank you for.
Thank you very much, Dr. Garba Abari, DG NOA, Partner in Progress. Next, I would like to call on the President of the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, SANU, Mohammed Haruna Ibrahim, to please give us a goodwill message.
Good morning, Mr. President, distinguished members of NIPR, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Well, I just want to follow the footsteps of our big brother, Dr. Abari. SANU, as personified by me, it's part and parcel of NIPR. I am privileged to be part of this occasion, from the conceptualization to the organization and to seeing what is happening today. However, this conversation will not be complete without deeply reflecting over what is happening or what has befallen of our educational system today in Nigeria. Our universities have been closed in the last 6 months, getting to 7 months. And this is truly something that is contributing to the problems of this country. And for us in SANU, because of our belief in this country and the need to strategize, we have called off our strike or suspended it, and we are resuming today. This is without prejudice to whatever struggle we're having. And it is not to say that we are deeply or totally satisfied with the way government is taking this issue. But we believe we could still struggle and fight while we are in our offices. And for this, we want to thank NIPR for giving us this platform. And we will continue to pray that Nigeria continue to grow from strength to strength. Thank you very much.
Always good news when you hear that the strike has been called off, and we're glad to know that. Thank you very much, the President of SAN. All right, I would like to very respectfully now call on the Deputy National Chairman of the Police Community Relations Committee, PCRC, Alhaji Abdullahi Mekeko, to please give us the remark.
Let me thank you, the MC and the organizers, for giving me yet another opportunity. Yesterday we were given 1 minute, and today I'm happy it has been extended to 2 minutes. I would like to operate within the time frame. Well, actually, what I felt I left out yesterday, and I pleaded with the leadership of NIPR, that this give me yet an opportunity to raise it here. Well, I was so impressed when I looked at the gathering here. I was so happy that they cut across all strata of society, the young, the middle, and the old. So what I did not see and was really hitting my mind was the traditional institution. I wanted to use the opportunity to appeal to NIPR, which I am also a member, to organize a special summit as quickly as possible, since this one is going to the National Assembly as soon as it's concluded, to bring them in and talk to them. They are the grassroots. In 1914, before the independence of Nigeria in 16, the traditional institutions were in charge of peace and security. It was even a shame or a taboo because they had the local police. They were sometimes called Thursday police up here, and which has now been transformed into vigilante group. They were not really paid. It was a volunteer kind of thing. They had prisons, and they called them Gidan Sarki maybe in Hausa, up north here when we are taken to prison, now correctional center. Nobody wanted to identify with criminals. Sir, it was minimal at that time to see all these ills in our society taking place. Sir, I want to appeal to you to use your good office, to use the opportunity that God has given you to at least rediscover Nigeria as you are doing this kind of to organize a forum for traditional institutions so that they can also partake, perhaps appeal to the federal government to give them a defined responsibility. Now, their responsibility were taken over in 1976 when local governments were created, 1984 when the Suki reforms came on board. It recognized the power shifted from the traditional institution to local government chairman. You cannot imagine a first-class Indian taking permission from, I am not degrading anybody, from a secretariat or somebody who thought to be maybe a young man because he wants to travel to try his domain. This, I look at it as a degrading. Please, maybe we should look at this once again. Thank you for yet an opportunity, and I want to congratulate you and pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to guide you throughout this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, an essential ingredient this discussion to attain integration, peace, and security. The chairperson, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and our president, at this time we are going to be talking to ourselves. We'll have a panel here that will start the conversation. The citizens' engagement is where we go next. Permit me on your behalf as we try to draw a roadmap to a new Nigeria that NIPR, and I'm sure every Nigerian should be interested in, to welcome to this part of the hall to kickstart citizens' engagement, because all of us here will have a voice today. Quickly, I'd like to invite one of my favorite mass comm experts, the Vice Chancellor of Federal University Kashere, Professor Umaru Pate, FNIPR. I'd also like to invite Mr. Tim Akon, MD Chief Executive Officer, New Horizons Limited.
Look at him now. Look at him. How will you be blocking him? Am I not seeing? Look at him.
I'd like to invite Mrs. Nella Andam Ewa Rabana, SAN, Legal Advisor, PANDEF. My brother, Professor Oke Kechuku, MNI, Executive Director. Please come up. Thank you, good to see you again. I'd like to invite Barrister Ambassador Awal Siraji, who is youth leader representing the youth on this panel. Reverend Ladi Thompson, founder of Macedonia Initiative, I'd like to invite you to come up.
We need to give it a side so that we don't.
The message here today is continental, so we need to bring that on, because until Africa as a whole, and Nigeria represents that, let's serious with what we are doing. Development will slow down, and we want to fast track it. And so our moderator today is the President, Africa Public Relations Association, APRA, Mr. Yomi Banajobi. Please welcome him. Thank you. You all have your microphones, and the conversation starts any moment.
Can I start? Okay.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, the chairman of the occasion, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, of course, fellows of the Institute, Your Excellencies present here, and of course, members of the panel. I'd like to thank the organizers for giving me the privilege to moderate such a high-powered panel of discussants this morning. And I would like us to just go straight into the business of the day, especially in view of the limited time that we have. So this is the way it's going to go. I'm going to give each and every one of us an opportunity to do 5 minutes each. Just summarize in your own words a roadmap to a new Nigeria, and then we're going to throw open to the floor, and the members of the audience can touch space, and then I'm going to come back to you, and you will do another 2 minutes in wrapping up, and then we will call it a day. I have seen the panel constitution, and it spreads across various stakeholders. One, we have, of course, Professor Umaru Pate, very renowned practitioner, Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Kashere, and I believe this is second posting. He used to be a Vice Chancellor. Is this your first one? Okay. I got that wrong. And I'm sure you probably will be speaking to us from the education perspective. Mr. Tim Akao, who's the MD of New Horizons Limited, we expect you to probably speak to us from the private sector. how is this affecting your business, or what can be done to make sure it goes forward. And to the Senior Advocate of Nigeria and the Legal Advisor of PANDEF, Mrs. Nella, and then Ewa Rabana, your frame precedes you. My wife is a lawyer, and she talks about you quite often. So sometimes when you're hearing voices at home, it's us talking about you. I expect that what is the legal framework to help us get into this destination of a new Nigeria? And of course, my very good friend, Professor Oke Ikechukwu. I don't know where I placed Oke. He's media, he's a philosopher, he's an author, he's an educationist. Well, we have somebody from education. So I'm going to put you in the NGO. Yeah, I'm going to put you in the NGO. How can you support us? And of course, Barrister Ambassador Suraju, youth leader, what role do the youth have to play in what we're talking about? Unfortunately, I do not see Reverend Nike Thompson